All right. Good morning and welcome to another NEBA Spotlight. Anthony, tell us about your business.
Absolutely. I would like you all to take a second to think about where you were on January 28th, 1986. And actually, I want you to put it in the comments. Where were you on January 28th, 1986? I realize I'm asking you to think back a little bit. But before you say I don't know where I was, let me tell you this. January 28th, 1986 was the morning, oh, Tim knows, that the Challenger space shuttle was set to launch into space. And the Challenger space shuttle was unique because not only was it carrying these astronauts, it also had on board one school teacher. Krista McCullough was a science teacher who wanted to go up to space to translate science down to her students and the world at large in a different way than astronauts were doing. However, just a few seconds into flight, the Challenger space shuttle exploded live on TV for everyone to see. And it looks like many of you remember that now, and exactly where you were when that took place. It exploded live on TV despite known issues that the scientists on the ground relayed to folks in charge of making the decisions. And they sent it off into air and exploded it anyway. They say it takes 17 years to translate science or technology into effective action. But for NASA, 17 years wasn't long enough. 17 years and 5 days after the Challenger exploded, on February 1st, 2003, the Columbia Space Shuttle was orbiting Earth. While down on the ground, scientists were frantically trying to figure out how to communicate the problems that they knew existed. And unfortunately, on February 1st, 2003, the Columbia Space Shuttle also exploded, killing every astronaut on board. I told you that these were known issues, right? And this is an actual slide that NASA used to express this information. In my business, we often joke about death by PowerPoint, but for NASA, it is quite literal. In both of these tragedies, the Challenger and the Columbia space shuttles, the science was clear. The facts were solid. The translation was a disaster. In fact, on this slide, they hid the most critical piece of information on a slide with over 100 words, and they put it down at the very bottom, the smallest font, and in very scientific technical terms that not every decision maker could understand. This is why I created Agent. Again, my name is Anthony Greiter, and I've created Agent specifically to rescue critical knowledge from bad design. And at Agent, we specialize in translating that technical, that scientific, that boring or complex information into learning people remember. Look around at the other folks here today. Look at the people that you work with on a regular basis. You are all brilliant minds. You are brilliant business owners, and your expertise is your secret sauce. But what do we do with that secret sauce? More often than not, we bury it. We bury it in slides no one understands. We bury it in documents that nobody reads. And I want to confront you with an uncomfortable truth today. Your problem is typically not your knowledge. Your problem is how you share it. Most of you are not in the business of launching rockets. I get that. But when your customer, your team fails to understand what your critical information is actually saying, your growth stalls. When scientists or tech innovators fail to translate that knowledge out to the world, they don't change lives anymore. So to fix that, we use the agent framework, and that's what I'm going to walk you through today so that you have a better idea of what we're working with. And the agent framework, each letter stands for something, obviously, but I'm going to walk you through two versions of it. One is the scientific technical version. For example, A is analyze for consequence. But why don't we just simplify it? Why don't we translate it into what everyone says? And that's ask why. Stop starting with what you know and instead start your talks, your presentations with why it matters and what your audience will lose if they ignore everything that you have to say. Ground in reality. Experts work in perfect conditions, right? But your customers don't. They work in busy, messy days. So instead, let's just say get real. Until you account for that time pressure, the distractions, whatever your customers face, real life is going to beat your perfect knowledge every single time. What if we engineer for use? What does that even mean? What if we just say we exercise the skill? We have to ditch the wordy slides. Seeing information is not the same as being able to use it or to do it, to act on it. And so we want to practice that skill, not just expose people to it. If people don't practice what you're teaching them, then they can never really apply it. The N stands for nurture the follow through. Again, technical jargon, right? I like to say that learning fails on Monday when people return to the office. They try to implement whatever you taught for the first time. So instead, let's just give them some next steps. Let's give them easy tools that they can use tomorrow to make sure that the lesson actually does make it back to the office. So they can implement what you're teaching or the information that you're providing as soon as they are back at work. And finally, the T is test for action, which is technical, right? The metric of success isn't a quiz score. Instead, we just want to track change. We measure success by change in action. If the decision, the conversation, the output, whatever it is, hasn't changed, nothing was actually learned. So we need to fix that. So this is the agent framework. Again, the problem isn't that your team and users aren't smart enough. It's not that you aren't smart enough. The problem is lethal translation. It's a failure to communicate effectively. Smart business owners deserve better than stupid slides. That's how bold I get. Your expertise is too valuable to be lost in a graveyard of bullet points, so let's stop doing it. If you're tired of watching your best insights, your most innovative pieces die in a deck, let's dig them out. Call me. I'm from Iowa. We have huge shovels here. I promise. If you need to revamp an old training, if you need to build a brand new solution, maybe develop a showcase video, or you're getting on a stage or you know someone getting on a stage that has technical, scientific, whatever information to share, let's get in touch. I would love to help translate that expertise into learning people remember. Again, I'm Anthony Greiter with Agent, and you can find my information in the chat.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Hey, there's a request. Are you able to share your slide?